Well, supporters are calling it a huge win for religious freedom, while critics say it's nothing but a license to discriminate. The Arizona Supreme Court ruling in favor of a pair of Christian artists who say their religious faith would be violated if they were forced to comply with a Phoenix ordinance that would not allow them to decline work for same-sex marriage invitations.
Today's victory is not a win just for Breanna, Koski, and me. It's a victory for everyone. Everyone should be free to peacefully live and work according to their beliefs, without fear of unjust punishment.
But the ruling's not without limits and does leave some unanswered questions. So let's bring in one of those artists, co-owner of Brush and Nib Studio, Joanna and from the Alliance Defending Freedom, attorney Kristen Wagner. Great to have you both with us.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so I want to play something that the Phoenix mayor, Kate Gallego, said in response to the ruling. Here's what she said.
Freedom of religion does not mean freedom to discriminate. Personal convictions cannot be used as an excuse for outward bigotry. If you serve someone in your community, you should serve all people in our community. As Paul Smith, a First Amendment expert, so eloquently put it, we've never allowed a commercial business to justify discrimination against a protected class based on the First Amendment. We shouldn't start now.
Joanna, how do you feel having the win and then this reaction from some within the community?
Breanna and I could not be more thrilled with this win. We serve all people. We just can't express every message through our artwork. This was a great decision for every American who values their freedom. Breanna and I have loved art since we were little girls, and creating this business was a dream for us. So when we came up against this Phoenix law that was threatening us with jail time, we were extremely concerned and had to stand up. So we're relieved about this ruling today.
And Kristen, I mean, you've taken on a number of these cases. I want to read something else that the mayor tweeted and get your response. She says, the ruling was extremely narrow, and because of that narrowness, there has been some misinterpretation stating that it struck down the entire city ordinance. That is false. Our anti-discrimination ordinance still stands and is going nowhere. So what doesn't the decision mean?
The decision is one of the strongest and most well-written decisions on free speech that I've seen in my career. In fact, the decision itself opens by saying that free speech and free exercise rights are not limited to the soft murmurings that go on in churches or private homes, but that all Americans have the right to be able to use and sell words, paintings, and to create art that is consistent with their convictions. So this doesn't just protect Joanna and Breanna, it protects people of all faiths and people of no faiths to be able to express their views consistent with who they are.
I want to read something from the former mayor of Phoenix, because this ordinance is not brand new. Their previous administration involved said, this decision will harm our economy by sending the unfortunate message that discrimination on the grounds of sexual orientation is still acceptable by some state leaders. That is the sad legacy of this decision. Joanna, how do you respond to those who say this is hurtful to certain people in the community, that it is bigotry and discrimination?
I would say again, Breanna and I serve everyone. We just can't communicate every message through our art, and that's a freedom that every artist should have. And so we think this is a great day for Arizona and for artists everywhere, because the Arizona Supreme Court affirmed freedom and the right of artists, not the government, to make those expressive decisions.
And Shannon, the statistics tell us, research tells us that 9 out of the 10 best states for business in the United States don't have these laws, and 12 of the 13 worst states do. So that's simply not true.
We know that there are more cases on a collision course, potentially to the Supreme Court. We're watching those as well. There will be more and more of these conflicts. So, Kristen and Joanna, thank you for joining us after your victory last week.
Thanks so much for having us.